Hello, I'm Amelia Broun. You're watching 7's Afternoon News live from Perth. Coming up, borders to open and crowds allowed into stadiums, the newest restrictions to be eased across the country. The latest plea from authorities as thousands prepare to attend the Black Lives Matter rally at Langley Park tomorrow. A man wanted over an alleged hit and run in Perth's east hands himself into police. The breakthrough, Australian research that could be a game changer for people who suffer from egg allergies. And ratings bonanza, footy marks its return with a historic draw at the MCG. The Prime Minister has told states to open their borders, putting holidays and travel back on the agenda. Limits on crowds are also about to be lifted, with stadiums given the green light to begin filling their seats with fans. The Prime Minister, premiers and territory leaders hammered out the new guidelines in a video hookup this morning. Tim Lester takes us through the changes.
National Cabinet had already decided that the July or third stage of lifting restrictions would allow for crowds of up to 100. They've relaxed that further today. It does not mean all restrictions are lifted, but it does allow for a wide range of events.
We are in a good place. We've only had 38 new cases over the last week.
We are on track for the three-step process to be completed in July.
National Cabinet meets the morning after the return of the AFL, two of Australia's most revered football clubs in the country's biggest stadium, the stands at the G utterly empty. The states are now assessing how to reverse the ban on big venue crowds, case by case, but have agreed on a July reopening for mid-sized venues up to 40,000, with ticketed seats only and a reduced socially distanced crowd.
For up to 25% of the capacity of those venues to take patrons.
For indoor events, including funerals, the leaders have settled on a limit from July of one person for every 4 square metres at the venue. Some events, though, will stay closed.
In terms of nightclubs, also, that is not on the agenda.
And the Chief Medical Officer has spoken out on the weekend protests that would breach social distancing rules. He calls them dangerous.
Pleading with the population to not attend those uncontrolled mass events. You cannot make them safe.
This as the Prime Minister backs off one comment he made yesterday that there had never been slavery in Australia. He's apologised for that comment and has acknowledged that problems in Indigenous communities are heartbreaking.
There's been no response from the state government yet as to when WA's hard border is likely to come down. Meanwhile, thousands of people are expected to ignore social gathering rules and join a Black Lives Matter rally in Perth tomorrow. It comes as our Public Transport Authority has been forced to apologise over an incident where an Aboriginal grandmother was told to move to the back of a Trans WA bus. Rob Scott joins me, and Rob, there's been an apology, but what happened?
Well, Amelia, the Indigenous woman and her grandson had paid for tickets for a coach journey from Geraldton to Perth last year, requesting that they sit near the front. But once they got on board, they were told to move to the back. The woman took offence and complained to the Equal Opportunity Commission after she noticed that other Aboriginal passengers were also being sent to the back of the bus. Now, recognising the hurt this caused, the Public Transport Authority apologised to the woman and paid her $2,000, but insists this was not racist, just a clumsily handled situation.
It was certainly not done for racial reasons, on a racist basis. It was done with every good intention, but it was handled badly.
This comes as the Black Lives Matter movement sweeps across the world. 8,000 people are preparing to rally at Langley Park tomorrow. That's despite repeated pleas from authorities to postpone.
What worries me is the potential for an outbreak of the coronavirus, the thing that worries the government, and that has a capacity, if it gets into Aboriginal communities, to cause great destruction, and that's what worries me.
The fact that this rally is being allowed to proceed while much of the economy has been crippled by crowd restrictions really has angered Perth's business community. You can hear from them tonight at 6. Amelia?
OK, Rob, thank you. A Midvale man wanted over an alleged hit and run in Perth's east has handed himself into police. The 37-year-old is accused of leaving a young couple for dead after they crashed into the car he was driving in Vivash. Anna Hay was in court as the driver was granted bail.
Good afternoon. After a public appeal and an extensive investigation, Scott John Milliard handed himself into police just before 10 o'clock last night. The 37-year-old was then arrested in his Mid-Vale home and spent the night behind bars. Today, police were on standby as the accused walked out of Midland Magistrates Court on bail. Emotions were running high as family of the victims came face to face with the man police believe is responsible. Mr. Milliard is accused of leaving 17-year-old AJ Prosser and his 20-year-old girlfriend Chantel Murray critically injured in Vivash. Detectives say the couple was taking a stolen dirt bike for a joyride on Wednesday night when they crashed into a 2006 Hyundai sedan. The pair were thrown from the bike and flung metres into the air. They survived, but only just. Police believe Mr. Milliard was behind the wheel at the time and allege he didn't stop. The couple were taken to Royal Perth Hospital for emergency treatment, where they remain in a critical condition in an induced coma. Yesterday, AJ's heartbroken sister made a desperate plea for the driver to come forward. Mr. Milliard has been charged with failing to stop and report an incident occasioning grievous bodily harm and no authority to drive. Today, he was granted bail. Family are quite distressed out here. Is there anything you want to say to them?
Can you leave me alone? Please leave me alone.
Major crash investigators say the car involved belonged to a man who was working away and had been left with an associate. In 7 News at 6, I'll bring you the latest on the young couple's condition.
Former Collingwood footballer Heritier Lumumba claims he was forced to leave the club because he was publicly criticised by President Eddie Maguire. He's demanded a formal apology from the club after coach Nathan Buckley extended an olive branch over claims of racism.
The feud between former Magpie star defender and premiership player Heritier Lumumba and his old club has been simmering for years. Now it's boiled over in a series of explosive tweets. Living in LA with his family, Heritier Lumumba marched in American Black Lives Matter protests. Last night, his former coach offered an olive branch.
I'm not comfortable with the fact that Heritier feels like he's been belittled and diminished in our environment. I haven't spoken to H since 2014. I'd love to speak to him again.
But the premiership star doubled down on social media today. I was punished as a black man for daring to stand up for myself against slurs from my teammates. He claimed Collingwood had a real culture of racism, and in a tortuous 8-hour mediation, he told Buckley his club nickname Chimp upset him.
We were growing when he was there and he was a big part of it, and we're still growing.
Lumumba also said, after publicly criticising Eddie Maguire for jokingly calling Adam Goodes an ape, he was forced to leave the club. I was told it was because I had thrown the president under the bus.
The things that he said came as a complete shock to us. We want to talk to him. It's his club. We want to make him a life member of the footy club.
All that comes after a powerful Black Lives Matter gesture from Collingwood and Richmond players before the reopening game of the season last night. And players from all clubs are expected to make similar anti-racism statements before all games this weekend.
It's been a rollercoaster ride on our share market today. The ASX plunged on the opening bell following a huge sell-off on Wall Street. Chris Marr reports.
Well, the Australian stock market has reacted badly to coronavirus-related developments in the US, diving deeply at the opening of trading today. Now, the ASX 200 fell by as much as 3.5% at the start of trading. Energy and banking stocks were among those hit hard. During the day, investors regained some lost ground. It was down 1.8% in the final hour of trading. Local analysts say this has been a dramatic bounce back in the market since the beginning of the COVID crisis, and this is the correction that was always going to happen.
It happens in share markets. It runs too far ahead, then goes through a bit of a pullback, and I think that's what we're seeing here.
There's been a close to 7% fall in the Dow Jones overnight, with US markets reacting to fears of a second COVID wave in America. There's also been a warning by the Federal US Reserve that this will be a long road to recovery, with suggestions that unemployment in America may sit at 10% by the end of the year. That's been enough to spook investors here, but Australian analysts do say, or are divided on whether or not the damage will be long and lasting with the Australian market.
The Queen has made her first public Zoom video call to mark Carers Week in the UK. Her Majesty, who is in lockdown at Windsor Castle, was joined by her daughter, Princess Anne, to thank millions of carers for their efforts. Sarah Greenhalgh reports.
Well, there are fears that due to the ongoing COVID-19 risks and her age, the Queen is 94, that she may never return to her regular frontline duties. But she is proving that there are new ways to engage. She did have a little bit of help. She logged on to this Zoom call with the assistance of her private secretary from Windsor, and sticking to royal protocol, she was the last to join the call and the first to leave. After 68 years on the throne, the Queen proving she's not afraid to try something new.
I'm very glad to have been able to join you today.
The call marking Carers Week in the UK.
Interesting listening to all your tales and stories, and I'm very impressed by what you have achieved already.
Joined by daughter Princess Anne, the pair heard stories from primary carers about balancing their own physical and mental health while taking care of loved ones.
Just a little bit of recognition and support goes a long way for unpaid carers.
I think we all recognise that we know carers somewhere, and we have stopped and wondered how on earth we can help.
During lockdown, members of the royal family have all ventured online. Prince Charles recorded a video speaking about how he fought off COVID-19.
Luckily with relatively mild symptoms. And I find myself on the other side of the illness.
While the Cambridges played a round of royal bingo with residents of a nursing home.
Catherine's going to pick out the first ball.
Okay. So the first number is 5 and 8. 58.
One little duck, number 2.
Kate's latest home video encourages people to enter her community photo competition.
It isn't too late to take part, so please take a moment to capture what life's like for you, because together I hope that we can build a lasting illustration of just how our country pulled together during the pandemic.
The monarchy adapting to change, just like the rest of us. Now, unlike the rest of us, the Queen has 2 birthdays, her real one in April and then her official celebration in June, which is usually this weekend with Trooping the Colour. It is cancelled due to the pandemic, but the palace has confirmed there will be a scaled-back military ceremony at Windsor.
If you're afraid of heights, WA's latest attraction is probably not for you. Kalbarri's skywalk, unveiled today, sits atop the Murchison Gorge, a 100-metre high cliff in the Midwest. The 2 platforms allow visitors to walk over the ravine up to 25 metres from the edge. The $24 million attraction showcases the culture of the local traditional landowners, the Nanda people. It's hoped the fully accessible attraction will inject $73 million into the local economy over the next decade. Up next, post-COVID revival. We reveal the industries bouncing back the fastest. Also, back behind the wheel, a teenage driver accused of leading police on a high-speed chase. And video emerges of a brutal and frightening attack on a police officer.
The best time of day to lose weight, dawn, lunch or evening. New research revealing when is best and how much is too much. 7 News at 6.
My housemates will come face to face with what they fear most.
No, no!
Big Brothers Big Week starts Sunday at 7 on 7.
Hey Mum, what are we having for dinner? I don't know. What are you cooking?
Get your Woolies worth this week with great specials, like Australian RSPCA approved fresh chicken breast fillets from the deli, just $8 a kilo.
That's why I pick Woolies.
My legs are like tree trunks, and when tree trunks walk together, they chafe. But Step 1 has got you covered. We put these Lycra panels between the legs. It glides when you walk. You can buy them online at step1.life. Step 1, Get some.
At Terry White Chemmart, we're here to help this winter. That's why pharmacists like Bridget are trained to administer flu vaccinations right here in store. Book now. Walk-ins also available. Terry White Chemmart. Now that's real chemistry.
She knows where the warmest patch of floor is, but she doesn't know what fur ball means. Cats don't always know what's good for them. Lucky you do. Optimum Fur Ball Formula.
You'd never clean your surfaces with this, so why use this? Sponges can carry millions of germs. Dettol wipes kill germs instead of spreading them. Now biodegradable and compostable.
If you've been injured and can't work, your normal life and income can suddenly stop. Check if you have an insurance claim through your super online in minutes, so you can start again. With Slater and Gordon, tomorrow starts today.
Researchers from Edith Cowan University have developed a blood test to detect the early stages of melanoma. Their world-class research is the bridge between this world and a healthier world.
You're relying on our network more, so we're accelerating the rollout of Telstra 5G, giving more people and businesses access to fast download speeds in more places than ever.
AutoSpark for batteries, AutoSpark for air conditioning and regas, AutoSpark for vehicle lighting and wiring, AutoSpark for mechanical and electrical repairs for all makes of cars, trucks, SUVs and four-wheel drives. With highly trained technicians, mechanical services, electrical repairs and much more. The trusted professionals at AutoSpark will find, fix, regas or service it with the best advice. Car won't start? Call AutoSpark.
Your home means more than ever, and so does having the right home loan. To understand your options, go straight to Aussie. We'll help ensure you have the right loan for right now.
At Domain, we want to help you make it yours with our amazing range of customisable Australian-made furniture and bedding. Choose from a range of sizes, fabrics, colours, timber stains and more to create your perfect piece. Make it bold, make it fit, make it yours with our expertise to guide you every step of the way. So come in store and start customising. We're ready. Take advantage of 60 months interest-free, available now, and make it yours at Domain.
You're watching 7's 4 p.m. news live from Perth. Right now in the city, it is 18 degrees. The forecast is coming up soon. A Thornlie home has been left in ruins after it was engulfed by fire overnight. Neighbours rushed to the home on Leicester Drive after they smelled smoke before flames rose from the roof of the home.
We heard the neighbour from 35 run down screaming, like smashing on the doors, and when we looked out the window, there was already fire on the peak of the roof.
Fire crews responded within minutes and were able to bring the blaze under control before it leapt to neighbouring homes. Nobody was injured in the fire. Police are yet to determine the cause. A dangerous teenage driver involved in a fatal crash 2 years ago is back behind the wheel. He's led police on a high-speed chase from the Gold Coast to the Sunshine Coast in a stolen Porsche.
Many of the residents here on Appleby Road still vividly remember the horrors of that night in September 2018 when a stolen car lost control and crashed through a fence.
To see someone die right there in front of you was just, really, really horrible. So something that you'd never want anyone to ever go through.
15-year-old Joshua Gray died in the back seat while his two mates fled on foot.
I thought, how can you ever run away and actually leave your friend there to die? I felt they were cowards.
The 15-year-old driver was charged over the killing. Police say that same boy, now out on bail, was at the wheel of this stolen Porsche last night with two other teenage boys speeding at more than 200 kilometres an hour. Police tracked it from Surfers Paradise to Caloundra before they rammed a patrol car in Landsborough and were finally arrested.
He obviously doesn't have a conscience, Don't know. I think he belongs in prison.
All three boys involved in last night's incident have been charged and will face children's court.
A man has died after gas bottles exploded and set his unit on fire in Adelaide. The actions of neighbours who tried to rescue the man are being described by firefighters as heroic.
Neighbours raced to help when this unit on Williams Avenue exploded in a fireball just before 7 a.m.
Bob had a huge big gas bottle in there. He always used gas bottles.
Is that what the explosion was?
Yeah, that's what it was.
As the inferno took hold, worried neighbours feared the worst.
Just a massive bang, what sounded like broken glass falling everywhere.
They scrambled over fences and kicked indoors to try and locate the 71-year-old. A 49-year-old who risked his life trying to save Bob was taken to hospital with smoke inhalation.
The effort that they went to try to get to the people involved was absolutely amazing. So they've done everything they possibly could, but unfortunately it was too late.
The intense blaze also spread to an adjoining unit where an elderly lady was living.
Someone else was kicking the door down and I just helped Norma out with him, whoever he was, and got her to safety.
I ran immediately over alongside another neighbour, Colin. He bravely ran into the house and rescued one of the ladies from the front of the unit. Yeah, you don't really forget those screams.
Firefighters say the blaze was sparked by 3 LPG cylinders being used for cooking and heating.
Don't use gas cylinders inside the house. They're an outdoor item and ideally they need to be used in a well-ventilated area.
Police and firefighters say it's incredibly lucky more people weren't seriously injured or killed.
A huge plunge in the value of the national currency has sparked violent riots in Lebanon. Military forces were deployed to contain the rioters who targeted banks and burned street signs. Roads and highways were also blocked. The country's pound has lost almost 3/4 of its value since late last year. The Prime Minister is in talks to secure a financial rescue package from the International Monetary Fund. Video has emerged of a frightening attack on 2 London police officers. A man is seen wrestling a male officer to the ground before placing a hand over his mouth. Another man then appears with a baseball bat. A female officer who arrives to help is forced to fight off more men. Backup finally arrives and the men are arrested. And locals have joined Scout leaders from across the UK in calling to protect a statue of Robert Baden-Powell. Anti-racism protesters targeted the statue, claiming the founder of the Scouting movement had links with the Nazis. The local council had said it would remove the statue for its own safety, drawing a chorus of anger.
Give them a bunch of fivers. Anybody who touches it.
The council has now reversed its decision, with the statue to be given 24-hour security. The easing of coronavirus restrictions continues to benefit the labour market, with job vacancies on the rise. Brian Seymour has the latest figures.
Yes, good afternoon. New job ads on Seek reveal a sudden and welcome increase in the number of jobs on offer, up 60% in the 2 weeks to June 7. Despite an unemployment rate of over 6%, some jobs are back in demand. Now, the biggest numbers were for trades, healthcare, hospitality, manufacturing, transport and education.
It's pretty good news, but we've got to remember we're coming off a very low base of jobs when jobs really did drop off a cliff back in March.
All states showed a rise in job ads, by far the biggest increases in Queensland and Tasmania. The hospitality sector, of course, so hard hit by the lockdown, now that restrictions are easing, is storming back.
I think we're going to employ a couple more staff if everything stays how it is.
And more encouraging news, the National Skills Commission has found 19% of the nation's employers are actively recruiting people. Among those in demand, truck drivers, childcare workers, mechanics, shop assistants and receptionists. Whilst welcome, it is too soon to celebrate, with analysts predicting the unemployment rate could hit 8% by the end of the month. And of course, there are no calls yet to end the JobKeeper payments from the federal government.
Still ahead, footy's restart pulls in record ratings as Seven signs a new AFL rights deal. Plus, a cure for allergies. Scientists think they've found a way to switch off dangerous reactions. And a prehistoric discovery, how ancient crocs walked on their hind legs.
So who is he?
The accountant.
Like a CPA accountant?
Not quite.
The Accountant, tonight, 8:30 on 7.
But to do, all this here's got to be painted again.
Gee.
I lowered all my door frames by 2 feet, just as an epic reminder that Aldi are having their special buys.
You can't miss that.
Hey, precisely.
Turn your doorway into an epic reminder for this Saturday and get a clothes dryer for $249, a stainless steel dishwasher for $299 and a bar fridge for $99.99. Only at Aldi. Good. Different.
This is Kel. Ninja Kel. Some say she takes her job quite seriously. Kel's a local legend, so Kyle nominates her for the chance to receive a clean heat treat. Be like Kyle. Share the treats. Open to everyone.
Oh, I just went and got some milk. Just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy.
Who won the race to the shop?
I did.
With Belong, you get 10 gigs of mobile data for $25 a month. That's 10 gigs of family time, plus unlimited international calls and texts to selected countries for $5 extra. Together, we're different. Belong.
This is Anita. Make some assumptions about where she lives. By making assumptions, you don't see the individual. Anita is a stylist in the film industry. Her house is light and airy. Because the house has no tall trees within 20 metres, she could pay less on her home and contents insurance. At UE, we don't make assumptions, we listen. It's home and contents insurance for individuals like Anita. UE, you insured.
Craft Decor's end of financial year sale. Overstocked, 50,000 square metres reduced. No one has a range like Craft Decor. For large orders, make us an offer. Cannington, Joondalup, Mandurah, Osborne Park and South Fremantle. Craft Decor, best tiles, best prices.
Mechanical services and repairs, air conditioning, electrical and lighting repairs. Autospark will find, fix, regas or service it with the best advice. If your car won't start, call Autospark.
Getting back on the road is something we're all looking forward to. And at Toyota, we're here to help you do just that.
Get Kluger 2-wheel drive GX from $41,990 drive away. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Restful sleep and absolute comfort. Our Tessa beds provide gel-infused memory foam luxury and support and adjust at the touch of a button. Visit our website or browse extensive range of products at any of our 4 stores. Medi Hire and Sales. Take care of yourself.
It's ABC's end of financial year sale with up to 50% off rollers, vertical blinds, Furnisher blinds, outdoor blinds, vision blinds and shutters.
1315 ABC.
The AFL is toasting record ratings and a new television deal which will help secure the future of the game. Tom Brown has the latest from AFL headquarters.
It was low scoring, but with a nail-biting finish, footy fans, starved of action because of COVID, were absolutely captivated. The numbers, record levels for the AFL, the biggest home and away audience in 10 years.
It's really important for us to deliver an experience for viewers that was familiar and that they would enjoy and then take away their thoughts from all the challenges that we're all facing at the moment. And I was really happy with what our team produced.
Jack, already a history-making night with Bruce McAvaney and Brian Taylor spectacularly calling in separate locations, but a landmark night for Seven Network and the partnership with the AFL. The network extending its relationship for a further 2 years.
We've had a long-standing relationship with the AFL and we're just absolutely over the moon to know that we're continuing on for the next 5 years. They're great partners, great to work with.
Jack, it was an amendment to the existing deal to reflect the impact of COVID, also the extension that sees the competition get about $146 million a year on average from the network, which really shores up and provides a safeguard for the immediate future of football. We'll have more on the implications of this landmark deal in our bulletin at 6 o'clock.
There's fresh hope today for children who have life-threatening egg allergies. Australian researchers are trialling a new treatment and are calling for dozens of kids to take part.
Eggs cause serious problems for thousands of Australian babies because they're one of the most common allergies and they're found in so many foods. But this new trial could be life-changing.
It'll be a game changer for us, just to have that freedom.
9-year-old Jamie Stevenson is usually anaphylactic when he eats eggs, but he's now slowly overcoming his allergy through an immunotherapy trial run by the Murdoch Children's Research Institute.
So I have to have egg, like the protein egg, in ice cream every night.
The trial uses the same process as another one conducted in 2015 to help those with peanut allergies, which had an 80% success rate. It works by exposing children to small increasing amounts of the problem protein over 18 months.
Essentially switching off of the allergy at the end of an 18-month course of treatment.
Jamie's sister Sarah suffered a peanut allergy before she underwent treatment in the original trial.
I wasn't that much of a fan of it, but since I'm used to it now, I'm okay with it.
If this trial is another success, the Murdoch Children's Research Institute hopes to expand the program to other common allergies, including almonds and milk. Researchers are looking for more children with egg allergies to take part. They must be aged between 5 and 17.
Some prehistoric crocodiles walked on their 2 hind legs like dinosaurs. The findings have stunned international researchers, including a team from the University of Queensland. They discovered fossilised crocodile footprints in South Korea, but no handprints nearby. When combined with a lack of tail drag marks, they've concluded the crocs stood upright and were over 3 metres tall. Emergency crews rushed to a house in Bunbury this morning following reports an elderly man had fallen through his patio roof. Shauna Willis joins us from the GWN 7 News Desk with the details.
It happened on Shetland Place in Eton. Police vehicles, 2 ambulances and the RAC rescue helicopter all rushed to the scene. The man was treated by paramedics before being airlifted to hospital in Perth. The Outback Stores Company, which runs food outlets across the north of the state, is being investigated by the Parliamentary Committee because of the high price of its food. Some items are 400 times more expensive than in the Perth metropolitan area. And 16-year-old apprentice hairdresser Kai Norton from Bunbury has become the youngest person to win a place on the Redken squad for the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week in Sydney.
Now with a look at today's money markets, here's West Business Finance reporter Maylin Chu.
Thanks, Amelia. As you heard earlier, the local stock market spent another day in the red. $92 billion has now been wiped off the ASX over the past 2 days. The index today lost another 113 points, with investors pulling back following a slide on Wall Street, which sank on renewed coronavirus fears. The Big Four banks took another beating. Westpac lost 3% after revealing it could be facing more allegations of wrongdoing in its anti-money laundering case. Investors were also hitting the sell button on the retailers. Myer shares slumped nearly 6%. Super Retail and Harvey Norman also closed lower. Travel stocks were smashed today on concerns restrictions might not be eased as soon as first thought. Flight Centre, Webjet and Qantas all lost between 3 and 5.5%. There weren't that many winners, but TPG was one of them. Shareholders of the internet service provider will get a special dividend should its merger with Vodafone go ahead. The Australian dollar has also been caught up in the gloom. It's hit a 2-week low of 68 US cents after reaching 70 US cents early yesterday, and that's finance.
The captain of a cargo ship charged after losing 50 containers at sea has been allowed to return home to Malaysia. The 43-year-old was behind the helm of the APL England when it lost part of its cargo in rough weather along the New South Wales coastline. The incident triggering a massive clean-up. His lawyer has revealed his client needs to go back to work and will return to Australia when his case goes to court again. A top US general breaks ranks with the president over that controversial walk outside the White House. That's ahead. Also, what really happened? One of the biggest mysteries in television history finally revealed. And a special birthday celebration for one of Perth Zoo's oldest residents.
No matter where they make us play, no matter where they make us train, no matter how they change the rules, the West always puts WA footy first. For West Australians, by West Australians, your essential companion in a season like no other.
Peter Falconio was shot by a gunman who attempted to abduct his girlfriend Joanne Lees.
They found the killer.
He was the murderer.
Or did they? The murder you thought was solved.
34 inconsistencies.
It's what you don't know that will shock the world.
No one doubts me.
I couldn't believe this had never seen the light of day.
The event that will make world headlines.
We are going to be very unpopular.
Murder in the Outback this July on 7.
You know this horse is better value, and this horse is ready to go one better. That's why you deserve a better bet with Tab Touch. This Saturday, get boosted odds on races 1 to 3 at Eagle Farm. Better your bet with Tab Touch. Gamble responsibly.
Yeah. Get what you need for work with finance from Yes Loans. We work harder to say yes more often.
At Cannon, we believe mealtimes bring families together. That inspired our range of fresh, delicious, healthy, quick and easy to prepare meal solutions. Find us in your local supermarket. Cannon Foods, Cannon can do.
Cleansing your sensitive skin with soap is not enough. Try Garnier Micellar Water. Its micelles attract makeup and dirt like a magnet. Remove makeup better than soap. Cleanse and soothe. For powerful cleansing, use Micellar Water by Garnier, naturally.
Keep everyone entertained. Add on Xbox All Access and play for 3 months on us. Visit telstra.com/Xbox today.
Why tyre power? It's more than just the power of lower prices.
Because right now, get the power to buy now and pay later with Zip Pay at Tyre Power.
Why would you buy your tyres anywhere else? Get the power.
Tyre Power. Get the power of Australia's biggest independent.
It's laundry season at Harvey Norman. Wash smarter with the latest technology from all the leading brands. Save up to $700 on selected Miele laundry packages or up to $1,200 on selected AEG packages. We have dryers in stock from $349. Front-load washers with steam to sanitize and care for your delicate items from $698. King-size washers to save you time from $899. Plus 60 months interest-free is available. Limited time, now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
Oh my God! Someone save me!
I think if you're gonna wear a red lip, you've got to commit to it. Not the guy, the lip.
Do we look like sisters?
A top US military general says he was wrong to have joined President Trump on a controversial walk outside the White House earlier this month. Police were filmed violently clearing protesters ahead of the walk. Let's go to Paul Kadak in our US bureau for the details.
Good afternoon. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, admitting it was a mistake to be part of the entourage that day with Donald Trump wearing his combat uniform walking through the park outside the White House after police had used tear gas and rubber bullets to forcefully clear out peaceful protesters and the media so the president could pose in front of a vandalised church. In a speech to university graduates, General Milley suggested he'd crossed a political line, going against a tradition of the military staying out of politics, and that he should not have been there.
My presence in that moment and in that environment created a perception of the military involved in domestic politics. As a commissioned uniformed officer, it was a mistake that I have learned from.
General Milley reportedly thought about resigning over what happened, saying the idea of an apolitical military was part of the essence of the country. As the Commander-in-Chief digs in on his refusal to allow the renaming of military bases named after Confederate generals, tweeting today, "Those that deny their history are doomed to repeat it." But there's growing support for the move in Washington.
The American people know these names have to go. And then you have the president make a case as to why a base should be named for them. He seems to be the only person left who doesn't get it.
And today, the Senate Armed Services Committee, which is led by Republicans, approved a measure that would allow the renaming to happen.
A human jawbone has been found at a beach on the New South Wales Central Coast. Andrew Denny reports.
Well, it was around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon here at Umina Beach on the New South Wales Central Coast that a human jawbone was found in the sand by a woman who was walking her dogs. That's prompted a very large response from police today as they search this stretch of coastline. Photos taken by the woman who made the grim discovery show the remains were clearly discoloured and may have been here for some time. She says she knew immediately they were human and brought them to the local police station.
It was a very grim discovery, but I was more thrilled at the fact that it could possibly, help someone with solving a missing persons case or just returning someone's loved one to them.
Police have spent some hours here today searching this area but haven't found anything significant. It's possible with recent heavy surf the remains may have washed up, so they're asking for anyone who may have found anything similar along this coast recently to come forward.
Potentially that could have washed in from the ocean. It could have been unearthed. It could have been moved by a dog. We will speak to the missing persons registry and try to identify if there are any missing persons in the location in this area.
Now, police say those remains are being tested forensically, but the results could take some time.
Love it or hate it, the iconic ending to The Sopranos is one of the most talked about events in television history. Now, the creator of the series has accidentally let slip what happened after that notorious cut to black. The final scene showed Tony Soprano in a restaurant with his family when the series abruptly ends. Many interpreted this as a sign Tony and his family were murdered moments after the show finished. Now, the creator has appeared to let slip during an interview that the characters were indeed killed, ending one of the biggest mysteries in television history. Perth Zoo celebrated a special birthday today. Pateri, the zoo's oldest female orangutan, turned 50 today and seemed to take great delight in opening her presents, which were filled with nuts and fruit. A half-century is a tremendous effort for an orangutan, with Sumatran primates in the wild lucky to reach their late 40s because of threats to their habitat, poaching and the illegal pet trade. Great news. Controversy and a thriller at the MCG last night as footy returns. Highlights in sport after the break.
The footy is back. At Perth, we've got a Super Saturday direct from the hub. First up on 7, Freo face the Lions at 11:30. Then 5:30 on late, West Coast take on Gold Coast. No problem. Go to the footy on 7.
Treat yourself to a smooth, delicious barista-made McCafe coffee and we could treat you to a free coffee every day for a year. Drive through and buy any McCafe drink and go in the running to be your local McCafe winner.
Choose a King Coil mattress at Domain. Proudly Australian made and owned. Up to 60% off King Coil intimate mattresses and ensembles. The Thea Queen mattress, 4 feels, 1 hot price, $699. The limited edition King Coil CXX features a 3-zone conformer coil system, while Revello offers King Coil's Reflex Plus support at a great price. Relax in complete comfort when you add an AHB adjustable base, priced from just $999. Shop in store or online now at Domain.
Keep things light and airy with delicious Smith's Poppables. Thanks for sharing, finally. One pop and you're in love.
Can I have a minute more without slip away? Always fading out as night creeps into day. Will you learn to fight the feeling that's set in its way?
Stratco has all the offers you need during the Stratco Stocktake sale. Get 72 months interest free on patios and sheds and pay nothing for the first 12 months. Or get a $500 gift card on an Outback patio. T's and C's apply. So, you bring the dream, Stratco will bring the how-to.
Right, let's get some serious money happening here.
35, 45,
$55,000.
Wow, Anne, you've been in devastating form today.
Oh, yes.
The biggest game at 5 o'clock.
Here's make or break.
Comes down to the very last seconds.
Ooh.
New The Chase, weekdays on 7.
You're watching 7's Afternoon News. Basil joins us now. Baz, the message is don't expect too much as the footy returns this week.
That's right, Amelia. Eagles coach Adam Simpson says he expects players across the AFL to be rusty this weekend as footy returns. The Eagles have completed preparations for tomorrow night's match against the Gold Coast Suns, with Oscar Allen called up to assist Nick Naitanui in the ruck. With only 10 goals kicked at the MCG last night, Simpson believes it'll take time for players to return to their best.
Where the rest of the season's going probably shows that 3 weeks of pre-season after 8 weeks off means we're going to be a little bit rusty. Maybe the coaches as well. We're all a bit of the unknown really.
The Dockers kick off a Super Saturday of football on 7 tomorrow. They face the Brisbane Lions at 11:45 before the Eagles meet the Suns at 5:40, the second match on 7 Mate. It drew record TV ratings on 7, and last night's game at the MCG was also historic. Richmond and Collingwood played out a low-scoring draw, the first between the clubs in more than 100 years. The Magpies didn't kick a goal after the 7-minute mark of the second quarter.
It was the game that the whole of Australia had been waiting for. After 81 long days, footy was back, but the points were shared in the first draw between Richmond and Collingwood in over a century.
Oh, I feel sorry for everyone at home that's waited 3.5 months and they get a draw first up, so no doubt there'd be a few broken TVs. But no, look, it's just great to be back.
But before play resumed, the players backed the Black Lives Matter movement with this powerful show of support.
No place for racism, and the knee is an expression of that support. Strength and diversity, making for a better football community.
Buckley spoke of his desire to make peace with Premiership defender Heritier Lumumba, who says he was a target of racism during his time at the club.
I speak for the club generally, but I can speak for I have to speak for myself. I'm not comfortable with the fact that Heritier feels like he's been belittled and diminished in our environment. I haven't spoken to H since 2014. I'd love to speak to him again.
The Magpies made a fast start, kicking the first 4 goals of the match.
Collingwood have got 4 and Damien Hardwick is a little worried.
Remarkably, Phillips's second midway through the second quarter was the Pies' last for the match, as the Tigers roared back. They were helped by a controversial call that allowed Higgins to snap a late goal just before the last break.
Really? Centimetres in it. Really? Or it was over.
An anticlimactic ending, no goals from either team, ending in a draw. 72 points for the match, giving us the lowest scoring AFL game since 1999. Lucas Rinaldo, 7 News.
A scare for the Bombers today, with rising star Kobe Mutch taken to hospital after a heavy knock at training. He hasn't been named for Essendon's clash with Sydney on Sunday, but the Bombers will have their skipper back.
An infection following off-season foot surgery should have cost Dyson Heppell 10 games in season 2020, but the Bombers captain is back for round 2. Jake Stringer also passed fit, with Anthony McDonald-Tipungwuti in the final squad despite some doubt over an ankle concern. Joe Danaher making slow but steady progress as former coach James Hird insists the Bombers made the right decision to hold on to the injured forward. A sore Brodie Grundy was forced to have a scan on his hip this morning after copping a knock during last night's draw. Grundy has an extended 8-day break before the Pies take on St Kilda next Saturday. David Teague wasn't much of a goal kicker in his playing days, but the Blues coach can still show his young side a thing or two. No doubt so will Eddie Betts in his Carlton second coming.
Oh, I hope he's exciting. I hope he plays. We see that smile. That's what I'd love to see. He's been outstanding on the track. His form before he hurt his calf was really good, and to have him back now is exciting for our group.
Jack Silvani a late out with illness, while after almost 2 years on the sidelines, Bulldog Lin Jong will make his AFL return against the Saints on Sunday. Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
The US Open could join Wimbledon on the scrap heap due to a player revolt. Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal have spoken out recently about possibly avoiding the slam due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, Aussie star Nick Kyrgios has joined in, calling the ATP selfish on Twitter for attempting to hold the tournament amid the pandemic and protests across the US. The US Open is scheduled to begin on August 25, but a decision on this year's event will be made by Monday. After the longest unplanned break since World War II, professional golfers returned to the fairways. Most of the world's top players made the trip to Texas for the Charles Schwab Challenge, but it was world number 52, Sung Kang, who stole the show with a hole-in-one
for Kang. And that is unbelievable. Shot of the day for sure there for Sung Kang.
Harold Varner, the third, and Justin Rose led the day one field at 7 under. All right, more footy. It's back. Amelia, how good is it? And we've got Geelong, Hawthorn from 5 o'clock on 7, mate. I'll see you at 6.
Beautiful. See you then. Thank you, Baz. Will the rain continue over the weekend? I'll have your forecast after the break.
This is where WA starts the day.
From this morning, COVID-19 restrictions are being relaxed.
If it's breaking in Perth,
Live now to the crime scene.
you'll see it on Sunrise.
Royal Perth Hospital.
Sunrise is Perth News.
Very good news to start our Wednesday.
Sunrise, the best way to start your day in WA.
At the heart of it all, it's a great story. A story of girl meets boy.
I don't have a story. I'm just a girl in a bar.
Of good
We can save them both.
versus bad. Drama.
I don't know what to do.
After drama.
I don't want to lose you, Joey.
I need help in here!
That come alive right here.
I'm right here. I'm okay.
Because this is the home of drama. All streaming for free on 7+.
Join AHM Hospital and Extras Direct and you'll get 6 weeks free. Plus, we'll waive any 2 and 6 month waits on extras. Yay! Whether you're a single, a couple, or a family. It's that simple. That doesn't look very simple. Offer ends June 30. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
Don't miss Region Power's 17-year anniversary special. Massive 6.6 kilowatt solar system. European manufactured inverter. Fully installed for just $42.90. Call Region Power today on 18000 Region. Visit regionpower.com.
Tough, refined, exceptional value. A BT50 stands out. At the Mazda Standout End of Financial Year event, get a 2019 plate Mazda BT50 XT 4x4 dual cab with ABN bonus from $37,490 drive away.
Hey, hon. Yeah? Oh, how funny. I'm in that aisle now.
Get your Woolies worth with great specials like Nestle Block 118 to 200 grams, now $2.25 each. That's half price.
That's why I pick Woolies.
You'll find a massive selection of pots of all shapes and sizes at John Cole's Nursery. Designs you're unlikely to see anywhere else, styles to suit any home, and quantity you'd expect from Perth's best pot wholesaler. You'll experience outstanding customer service and advice, plus you can buy at wholesale price without an ABN. We're professional nurserymen and stock a huge range of plants you'd expect at a wholesale nursery. Take a short trip down the freeway to John Cole's Nursery, exit Rowley Road.
Our top-notch team of stain experts are testing the toughest stains day and night to develop our best stain removal. New Dynamo Professional Oxy Plus. It removes tough stains for a superior clean. New Dynamo Professional Oxy Plus.
The biggest game at 5 o'clock.
$55,000.
Comes down to the very last second. New The Chase. Weekdays on 7. The AFL is live on 7 Mate HD. Switch now.
This weather report proudly brought to you by Australian Red Cross.
Good afternoon, it's Savannah here with a check of your roads. It's all happening on your freeways with northbound holding up from Hay Street to Reed Highway. If heading southbound, the brake lights are City to Mill Point Road. Then they're a little patchy from Farrington to Ankertel Road. Delays as well Bayswater, Tonkin Highway northbound from Dunreath Drive up to Guildford Road. RAC Insurance take care of the things that are important to you and are there whenever you need them. Get a quote today at rac.com.au. More traffic on Monday.
Now, Fuel Watch, Perth's petrol prices. Brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Checking the weather now, and we had a very wet start to our Friday before the showers cleared this afternoon. 18 was our maximum. Looking at the national forecast, becoming windy in Adelaide, evening showers for both Melbourne and Canberra, and a partly cloudy day in Sydney. Back home to Perth, and the showers should continue for the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, and they'll hang around for the start of the working week too. On Tuesday, we'll get a brief break, sunny and 22 degrees, before the rain returns on Wednesday with quite a warm top of 23, and that wet weather will continue into Thursday and Friday. I'll see you with Rick, Sue and Baz. For 7 News at 6, stay with us now for The Chase Australia.